In this reality check video, I'd like to talk to you about my Boomkin once again, but this time we're not just going to cheerfully celebrate how wonderful the spec is, but I think you deserve to hear a little bit of a further exploration of mine, conclusions and observations, where I will tell you where Boomkin progression in Horrific Visions becomes less fun and becomes relatively challenging. Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Gyro. I'm very happy for you to join me here today once again. As I said, we are going to be talking about Boomkin and we're going to be looking at yet another Horrific Vision run, and I'm going to try and make it not boring for you and talk about something new. Not just about how wonderful the spec is, because admittedly that's pretty much all I've been raving about lately over the past two videos where I was covering Boomkin spec. I think when you love something, when you love a spec, when you love a game, when you love something, it only is understandable that it deserves more than one coverage video, which is why I've invested a few of those and I've been pushing on Boomkin and I've been having fun and I've been reporting on it. But this run is a two-mask run. Is a two-mask clear? The masks are not the worst, but neither they are the easiest combination. And in short, if you're short in time and you only had 5 minutes for me today, I appreciate you still stopping by the way, it's not mockery. I do understand everyone has time limitations. This is going to be my main point. When within this item level range, 450, and my gear, which has not improved since the last video that you saw, two masks is when you start feeling it. Two masks is when it is still challenging, and I would say it doesn't stop being fun, but it is definitely not as giddy. It is not as giddy and like, yay, bring on more, let's AoE everyone, yay. Sorry, but that's how I felt in the previous videos and probably that came through, right? That's cool. I still love the spec. I'm not going back on my opinions, but I think, as I said in the intro little speech, I think you deserve to hear also, so what's bad about it? Okay, well, let's maybe take a look at it constructively, and let's take a look at where you start feeling those bad things about Boomkin. This is what this run is about. Stick around. If you're new here, particularly warm welcome to you, as I always say. Please subscribe. This is a little club of casual gamers, Horrific Vision pushers, World of Warcraft fans, and I am Gyro. I'm your host. I'm here every 2 days. All right, so Boomkin is not a tank. Let's just be very, very clear. I know a lot of what I'll say would be obvious, but I think with all this giddiness, with all this OP-ness that I've been reporting to you about that message may have been lost. And I think it's only fair to remind you of it. So Boomkin form does a lot of good things for you, yeah, but at the same time it doesn't suddenly turn you into a tank. It does give you extra armor, it does improve your spell damage a bit, I bet, and I think, yeah. But if mobs become tougher and each mask adds 25% of toughness to every mob within a Horrific Vision, and they hit you for 25% harder, that's a quarter of the damage that they do, it adds up. Point is, it adds up. I said it enough on my other videos, it's not going to be the central point of this discussion. But you do start feeling that the mini bosses of the areas, they start persevering and chasing you around for longer than you would like. That is, I think, where it hits you the first time. That, I think, is when the initial, it's still fun, but that giddiness, that feeling of like, ah yeah, can't catch me, can't catch me, can't catch me, can't catch me, that thing passes, at least for me. This is, I think, the first moment that happens to me. This is, I think, the first moment that is worth mentioning to you and kind of prepare you for it. It doesn't mean that the class suddenly is, oh no, not for me anymore, like I said, but it is just, if you're prepared for that moment, if you know when it will come, probably the effect of that moment is not going to be as frustrating or as disappointing. Yeah, I think if nothing else, then this is my goal here. I'm trying to convey this to you. As you can see, I'm still able to be okay with my usual tactic, which is pretty blunt, pretty dumb, fun tactic of running around crazily. As one of my most recent supporters said, space chicken. I heard laser chicken, I heard dino chicken, I haven't heard space chicken. I'm not gonna say that that's my favorite title, but I'm gonna go with it, man. So you run around like a space chicken, you continue dotting everything up with Moonfire and Sunfire, and you throw Starfall, and you get those strongest procs of Star Surge whenever they are available to you. That is, in essence, the whole class guide that you need as far as Horrific Visions are concerned. But when you have two masks running, and I have the Mask of Dark Imagination and the Mask of the Pained running through this run, so it's not just about mobs being 25% tougher. It is also about the fact that Dark Imagination is virtually non-existent. You will see that towards the end of the run there will be moments when Dark Imagination, when my sanity does fall below 50%, and Dark Imagination spawns that fragment, the annoying fragment that starts chasing you or keeps you in combat, and you cannot spawn an orb, for example. You will see, I think, a moment or two like this. They are not super stressful in this run. They are not. I still did it, and I still didn't feel like I had to, oh my god, I barely made it. Even though there will be a couple of moments when my health went so low that I was like, that's it, cranial defibrillation, here I come. And then I just barely scraped by. Oh my god, I think there'll be a moment coming up soon enough, so keep watching for those kind of things. And that's where I wouldn't give you any false bravado here. I will say, I don't know if I could have done significantly better with what's available to me, with the gear, with the skill, with everything else. I think that that was pretty much, well, if not my absolute best, then definitely not the worst or not the most, yeah, I was just looking around and having my coffee. No, I was trying. I was definitely trying, not gonna lie to you. So that's worth being mentioned. So Mask of the Pained is the worst one of the two I'm running right now. A Mask of the Pained, in case you're not familiar super with this yet, or just need a reminder, Mask of the Pained adds a second random insanity, or whatever it's called in this context, madness. So you don't just run through the zone and it gives you one madness, like Leaden Feet, for example, yeah? But it gives you a second one. That's what Mask of the Pained does. And again, one of my Leaden Feet I hate. Everyone hates Leaden Feet, yeah? But I would say when you need to move around a lot, when it's a mobility-based class, such as Demon Hunter, but I would say Boomkin, or at least this tactic of how I'm running this, is a mobility-based tactic. I need to move around, I need to round them up, I AoE them, dot everyone up, run around more, run around more, run around more. Leaden Feet becomes an issue in that specific scenario, of course it does. But the worst madness that is not present in this run, luckily, is the split personality. It's when you randomly, at the seemingly most annoying moments, you get surrounded by those shadow copies of yourself. And it just happens out of nowhere with very little. There is a warning, there is kind of a darkening of the environment around you if you notice it, but in the middle of the fight it just really happens, and you can't always detect it. So you bump into one of those, in that tiny circle surrounding you, into one of those shadows, and you get stunned. So luckily I don't have to deal with that here, but Leaden Feet in Matthias Shore area of Stormwind, Leaden Feet is definitely giving me a run for my money. I think when I said to you that the mobs taking longer to kill and me having to dance around them longer took away that little first bit of giddiness about playing Boomkin here in Horrific Vision, but I'd say being susceptible to those debuffs and not being able to run away, and already having used my mass entangling roots once, already having used my buckskin, the trends who are taunting are on cooldown. You will notice there will be a moment where you will see and you'll be like, oh man, that was close, wasn't it? And yes, it was close. At that moment, if we are counting, you and I, then that was the second moment where more of that giddiness of, oh, I'm a boomkin, I'm a crazy boomkin, look at me, has passed even further, okay? Man to man, man to ladies, completely honest feedback here. So that's what to be aware of, that's what possibly to be a little bit more mindful of, and pay attention to the fact that it is all given still the food buff. I'm still running a food buff. I'm running that little even augment rune that gives me a tiny bit of intellect on top of that, which probably counts for nothing, but still I'm running it. So I'm running even mild buffs. It's not like I am completely running naked and unprepared and whatever. Gear is still not super optimized. I don't have boomkin trinkets. I just have intellect trinkets, one of which is purely a healing trinket, yeah? And I don't have any, probably worth mentioning, I am pushing 2 masks here, right? And I'll succeed, but I'm not running any powerful corruptions. Corruptions in this game, in 8.3, in the current design, probably conveniently get forgotten sometimes, and I know that I am not ashamed of saying that I do review corruptions a lot, and I always make a huge nod towards corruptions when I know that corruptions such as Twilight Devastation is the reason why I succeeded in some cases. Well, in this case, I was brute forcing this and I sensed that that giddiness has gone. It definitely was fun, but like challenging fun, you know what I'm saying? Rather than celebratory fun. Do you know what I mean? Like there is a difference between just celebrating and being like, yay, and being like, oh yeah, I'm beating content, yeah. So this was the latter. This was that second option, yeah? At this stage, looking at this, am I going to try and push 3 masks? Possibly. Maybe after I got at least one of the recommended Boomkin trinkets, even from LFR, even the 430 version of it, the Shredder of Psyche or Psyche Shredder from Prophet Skitra is one of the recommended, apparently pretty good Boomkin trinkets available to me, attainable. So I think I will try that, but at the same time, after I've done this run, and this run admittedly goes for quite some time, because you will see in some cases I had to sit down and eat. In some cases I simply had to slow down. I simply had to slow down and stop pulling, like I would have done on my first runs with no masks or with 1 mask. In this one, I just basically have to say that the bump in difficulty from 1 mask to 2 masks, I felt it instantly on Boomkin. Instantly. Now, this is Stormwind. I just got my masks. At the moment of recording this video and doing this 2 mask run, all I have is 3 masks available to me. Long Night, Dark Imagination, Paint. I didn't want to run Long Night again. Long Night really pushes you with the sanity. I kind of don't feel super comfortable with it. But Dark Imagination is easy. Paint is Paint. Or Orgrimmar, clearing Orgrimmar with 1 mask active, I believe it doesn't have to be Long Night one. I think just with a mask active, I think you need to clear, if I'm not mistaken, I think you need to clear Valley of Wisdom or Spirits, one of them. And it gives you another mask, which is the Mask of the Burned Bridge. The Mask of the Burned Bridge is the one that leaves the purpley swirly puddles behind you, so you cannot retrace your steps, hence burning the bridge behind you. You cannot return. In my opinion, as I reviewed in previous videos, again, we're not gonna spend too much time on this, Dark Imagination is the easiest mask, Burned Bridge is the second easiest mask, and the close contender to being the first easiest mask. So I think, when I say to you that I immediately felt the difficulty with 2 masks, I think it's because one of the masks is the Pained one. Pained is not easy. It's not the worst, but it's far from being the easiest mask. Which is why I think that if I had, and once I have, Mask of the Burned Bridge available to me, I think 2 mask clears with Dark Imagination and Burned Bridge as default easiest masks of choice, I think it will become less stressful than this, especially in the context of Orgrimmar. Next week we're going to try this, right? So I am recording this. I know I'm recording this for publishing a couple of days ahead of time. So you are probably watching this video during the week of Orgrimmar. But I've recorded it just before the rollover during the weekend, yeah? But for your information, so I'm not just going to republish content that's exactly the same, unless I have something new to say, unless there is some discovery that I made and I believe that I need to share it with you. But my intent here is that I'm going to get Mask of the Burnt Bridge and see how the 2-mask run, like virtually comparable 2-mask run, but with the easiest masks and with the easiest content of Orgrimmar compared to Stormwind, because Stormwind is harder, yeah? I'll see how that feels. And even if I don't publish a full video just reviewing another run, but like that, unless I do 3 masks there, who knows, let's see, never say never. Because 3 masks probably would be worth your time and worth my time talking about how that felt. So that's what I think I'm gonna do. And my anticipation is that once I have those easiest masks and easier Orgrimmar content available to me, as opposed to Stormwind, I reckon it would feel more fun again and easier per se. That's what I expect. Even if madnesses change and split personality madness is present in Orgrimmar, I think I can still deal with it. At least I'll try. Anyway, enough said. So basically this video was, as far as narrative is concerned, I just wanted to let you know that I managed to beat Stormwind with 2 masks on the currently geared, not optimized Boomkin with this crazy rotation of mine and crazy everything. There were a couple of moments when my health dipped a little bit below of what I'd say comfortable, and I had to sit and eat, even just to regain my health between the fights. But I still say Boomkin is worth your while, Boomkin is worth my while. We are going to be probably looking more at the other classes now. Time to switch a little bit. I'm even, as you either have seen already, depending how I scheduled my videos, I am even planning to offer you again a healthy switch of content, or only an element of it. It's not going to suddenly overtake the channel, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit about other games that I think, from my own experience as a very, I'm not going to call myself hardcore World of Warcraft player, but I'm going to say I am definitely a dedicated casual player / addict to World of Warcraft. Over years prove that. So I want to share with you something that helped me prevent my burnout over time in World of Warcraft, and that is picking games that talked to me. They didn't overtake my life, they didn't make me forget WoW, but they did help me through a period of the lull when I didn't want to do anything in WoW, yeah? And they didn't, those games did help me through that period of time, and I think it will be a nice little change of pace and little nice entertainment for you to maybe hear my opinion about what those games are, how they're similar to WoW, and if you should try and give it a shot, maybe just before Shadowlands come. Maybe you're one of those who likes to take a break just before new expansion comes so that you feel really refreshed and you really crave World of Warcraft content. I was like that through a phase of my life. Right now, as you can see, I'm still doing Visions, but Visions become a bit stale. For me, this channel, talking to you guys, telling you and hearing your support and seeing all the support, for me that was part of reinvigoration. But not everyone has a YouTube channel, right? And not everyone produces content for other people that reinvigorates them. Anyway, enough said. But look out for those videos that are gonna be reviewing at the very least one of the games that I believe talk to WoW players, at least as far as our mentality is concerned. They do talk to us, and I would very much be curious to hear how you guys feel about this, how you, if this is something that you would consider like or even appreciate that type of content on the channel, because I'm a gamer. I am 99% predominantly right now World of Warcraft gamer as I returned to the fold. But I was taking a break before it did come back. I was taking a break before 8.3. So Where was I spending my time? Well, not only on mobile, don't worry about that. Not only on mobile, but some good things were on mobile as well. So yeah, I basically would like to offer you that content and welcome your feedback on how do you feel about it. Yeah, that's a little preview for you of the content that's coming up. I am just going to probably turn on some funky music for you guys, party, and fade into the background and let you finish watching the rest of this run rather than hear me rant for the whole half an hour of this fairly lengthy run, and see how it finishes, see what I get in the chest as far as my rewards are concerned. And once again, recommend to you the Boomkin. Don't worry, more horrific visions, more stuff is coming your way. World of Warcraft is the core content of this channel, and it will continue to be so. And in the meantime, let's just have as much fun as we can together. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I really, really appreciate your support. It means a lot to me mentally. It means a lot to me motivationally. Thanks very much. I'll talk to you very soon next time.